The euphoria of this year's Democracy Day celebration still pervades the air like sweet old wine, the taste of representative or civilian government. Though relatively young at 23, for the current dispensation is still exciting and promising despite all odds. There is no doubt that the trajectory of democracy in Nigeria is at a steep learning curve, underscoring the need to take stock, ask necessary questions, and come up with better resolve that will help deepen the culture of democracy in the land. Panorama in this regard will focus on the future of democracy in Nigeria. Don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/alllive and on our YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, a Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. I am Adeola Komiakere. Welcome to Panorama. It is few days to the deadline given to political parties by the Independent National Electoral Commission to submit names of candidates ahead of the 2023 general elections. To this end, various interest groups within the APC are appealing to stakeholders to consider merit and those with electoral value to emerge as vice to its presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This, the groups say, is necessary in view of increasing divergent opinions from stakeholders.
Nigeria is in dire need of good governance, and this can come from either a Muslim leader or a Christian leader. But in the spirit of nationalism, justice, fairness, and unity, which the northern governors demonstrated a few days ago, the leaders of the north, on whose shoulder the emergence of the vice presidential candidate rests, must also demonstrate this spirit by ensuring that the candidate comes from the Christian faith. The northern APC has in its fold capable individuals from the Christian faith.
Well, appreciating our party loyal members, especially from the northwest and north central zones. We are appealing for their special consideration of the Northeast Zone for the position of Vice President candidate of All Progressive Congress in the 2023 general election. The Northeast region had consistently given block vote to the APC and support candidates from the other regions.
Activities commemorating 23 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria were rounded off with a colorful military parade at the Eagle Square, Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari was the special guest of honor at the significant and remarkable event, the last to be organized by his administration. State House correspondent Adamu Sabo has the details.
The Eagle Square in the heart of Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, once again comes alive. It is the celebration of the country's unbroken democracy for 23 years. Since the rebirth of democracy in 1999, Nigerians have indeed been reaping its dividends, taking ownership of government, enjoying the attendant freedom, and most importantly, taking pride in the country's recognition as a force to reckon with globally. The armed forces of Nigeria and indeed the police share in the joy. For President Muhammadu Buhari, who has been in charge of affairs of the country for the past 7 eventful and impactful years, is celebrating the day for the last time as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. He was joined in solidarity by, amongst others, former President Goodluck Jonathan, as well as Ambassador Babagana Kingibe, one of the heroes of the June 12 struggle.
I'm quite pleased that we're celebrating Democracy Day today, and we have to make sure that we imbibe in all what we do should be a part of our culture to be democratic. No matter the flaws people observe, we are not under the control of guns. So you know when the government is coming in, you know when the government is leaving. Even that alone is significant.
June 12th was the day that Nigerians buried all their dividing lines. They came together and decided unanimously, almost, on their future.
This is quite unique, being the last in the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. He has built and sustained the momentum of entrenching democracy in this country. And I believe that by the time we go the route of 24 years, we would have consolidated on all the gains of democracy.
The parliament, without doubt, is one of the greatest symbols of democracy. But how far has Nigeria's National Assembly fared in promoting and preserving the nation's democratic enterprise?
I can say the National Assembly has come of age, and we have been contributing to good governance and national development since 1999, passing very critical legislations. And even the previous National Assemblies have done so much.
For us in the armed forces, we remain quite delighted, because we believe that a thriving democracy is what a professional military requires to be able to build its competencies for it to be able to play its constitutional roles, which is the territorial defense of our dear nation. But the military has no reason whatsoever to return to political governance.
This is the fourth time the 12th of June is celebrated as Democracy Day in Nigeria, made possible by President Muhammadu Buhari as part of the process of healing, reconciliation, and indeed atonement for the previous damage done in the annulment of the 1993 presidential election. As some will say, even after he leaves office, the president will remain the greatest living heroes of the June 12 struggle. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Done with Democracy Day commemoration, it has been 23 years of uninterrupted democratic rule in Nigeria. In the past, May 29 was used to celebrate the nation's democracy, but in 2018, the date was changed to June 12 by President Muhammadu Buhari based on popular demands and requests by activists. Some political analysts who spoke to our correspondent India Debisi say the day is a reminder of how far we have come as a nation.
In 1993, I was just a young primary school girl, somewhat unaware of the implications of the annulled 1993 presidential election. From then to now, a lot has changed in the nation's quest for economic prosperity and democratic process. Most of its success story, for example, can be found in the unity bestowed upon the nation as a result of June 12.
As a nation that has tasted military regime, June 12 continues to be a solid foundation upon which the country's political experience seeks inspiration. Democracy Day, marked yearly, is a constant reminder that one of the reasons for the doggedness to forge ahead in the last 27 years is the unity of purpose derived from the June 12 experience.
It's important to have a Democracy Day when we remind ourselves of the importance of democracy, when we remind ourselves of the sacrifices of others for us to have democracy.
Democratic activists started agitating for its restoration. So everything about June 12 is about democracy that should work.
Close to 21 years after the death of the acclaimed winner of the 1993 June 12 presidential election, MKO Abiola, President Muhammadu Buhari declared June 12 as the date for the celebration of Nigeria's Democracy Day.
It will continue off and on until the military release the result of the June 12 election and put the democratically elected president, who is myself, in charge of affairs. I won't go to war. I won't encourage my supporters to go to war. I will fight for peace, and I will get peace.
Our decision to recognize and honor June 12 and its actors is in the national interest. It is aimed at settling national healing process and the reconciliation of the 25-year history wound caused by the annulment of the June 12 elections. I earnestly invite all Nigerians across all our national divide to accept it in good faith.
Analysts say it is a symbolic feat in the historical compendium of the nation because many have in the past tactically ignored the place of pride of June 12. Late Abiola was also awarded with the title of the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR, posthumously.
You don't see Abiola singing, "I'm from Yoruba, I'm on a cocon for Yoruba." If you were preaching that to Nigerians, I don't think we accepted in other parts of Nigeria.
We should try to build a Nigeria in the manner of the ideals of June 12th. As we move into the next election in 2023, we should be ready.
June 12 is a day that will not easily be forgotten in the history of Nigeria. This year's celebration is significant as it is just a few months to another general election that will usher in new democratically elected leaders. Nigerians are urged to imbibe the spirit of oneness displayed during the June 12, 1993 election, where ethno-religious biases were defiled in the quest to take the country to its rightful place as the giant of Africa. In Lagos, Kehinde BBC NT News.
Now talking about the impact of June 12. The celebration of June 12 has not only come to stay, but provides the template to true democracy in Nigeria. Abolade Salami in this report examines the impact of that process claimed to be the fairest in the country.
A credible, free and fair electioneering process cannot be mentioned in Nigeria without reference to June 12, 1993 presidential elections that produced the acclaimed winner, late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, and his running mate Babagana Kingibe under the Social Democratic Party, SDP. MKO, action! The process was not only adjudged the fairest ever, but gave Nigerians the opportunity to freely cast ballots for their preferred candidates without any fear or favor involving money inducements, harassment, or being compelled under duress to vote. Nigerians at the time, irrespective of tribe, religion, or ethnic background, put premium on fostering national unity, peace, and progress of their fatherland.
And it is important to stress that as we look at June 12th, it is important that we reflect on how we have ensured inclusion of every segment of society, both macro and micro nationalities. And when a particular section of the country feels disenfranchised, disengaged, marginalized, and excluded, then it's a call for action. And I hope that our political leadership will rise to the occasion and in their rhetoric foster unity, because our strength actually lies in no other national attribute than our unity as a country.
The reason for the brotherhood fraternity, political experts say, was to reclaim power from the military and return it to the people through their ballots. Unfortunately, the primary character in the democratic play of power, MKO Abiola, never lived to claim the prize of his victory at the ballots.
Moshood Abiola, as it was a chartered accountant. Let us get back to the drawing board before we get to the precipice. Bring back this country, bring back cohesion, bring back unity, bring back love into this national fabric. And I believe that it is achievable. There must be love dissipated throughout the country. The north, the south, the east, and the west. People must share in that vision of one nation.
29 years after, that struggle is still ongoing as Nigeria's democracy is still nascent. The umpire of the nation's democratic process at the ballots, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, still grapples with basic challenges of electoral administration, while the candidates are seen to be on court at the place of victory, and the electorates continue to suffer abuse of their democratic rights.
So really must move now away from religious divides to a more nationalistic stand where anybody, wherever we're going to have leaders, we should forget about this representing me, representing that. No, whoever is capable should rule Nigeria, whether Muslim or Christian.
At this stage of our democracy, observers' positions are diverse, with some major questions begging for answers. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Now with me in the studio for a conversation on the future of democracy in Nigeria is a public affairs analyst, Bolan Olojide. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, now, 4 different administrations in the space of 23 years, and the country is getting set for the 5th. Now, for you, how well have we fared in the country?
We're not where we ought to be. Most certainly, we're not where we used to be. So progress, slow progress, is out there, but the room for improvement is huge. When you just think back about the fact that most of the agenda items of the very first government in this republic, which was the OBJ 1999, are still the same agenda items as we speak today. Electricity, declare a state of emergency, let's get the power in place. 22 years after, there is still no power. There is still no single state in Nigeria that can say, I give my people potable water, they can drink from the tap. Education is still not where it ought to be. ASU is on strike as we speak. The president of Nigeria, if he's ill today, goes to London for healthcare. So we must begin to ask ourselves, how much have we moved? If you look at things like a lecturer process, I think it has improved. This is not how it used to be in those days when the president would say, oh, election is a do or die affair, and we'll say it in the public. Today, there's a bit more credibility. People are not worried about, oh, one federal might is coming to win election here. We saw what happened in
So the will of the people
is beginning to votes are beginning to count. So we made little progress. But like I said, the room for improvement is huge.
Okay, hold that thought. We will continue, but we need to take a break right now.
People get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Thank you for staying on to Panorama. We have Bolaho Lejide, a public affairs analyst, with us on Panorama. Now, there's a nexus between June 12, 1993 struggle and the current, democratic dispensation. How do we get back those ideals, that made June 12 peak and relevant till today?
I guess we need to appraise our current dispensation more carefully. Because what really happened between 1993 and the current republic is that the process degenerated. In 1993, we were able to proudly say we had an election that was able to cross the fault lines of religion and ethnicity. As we are speaking today, 29 years after 1993, we are asking how to choose a VP so that there will be a balance. You can't do Muslim, you can't, that was something we crossed the other time. As we speak today, we're talking about, you must choose your VP from there, because those people at that side, they don't vote for people from our side.
So what do you think is responsible for this?
Because when things are not running the way they're supposed to run, people withdraw back into their ethnic comforts, where they are more comfortable, religious comfort, whatever provide that comfort for them. So if the country is running as supposed to run, people have security, they can access healthcare, they can do this. Nobody gets to the airport and first of all ask, well, what is the religion of this pilot? Nobody does that. But we have to do that because we don't trust the other guy. We feel more comfortable in our own shell.
So we have trust issues.
We have serious trust issues.
All right, now let's look at the key elements for deepening our democratic culture. What are they, and how have they impacted the system in the country?
Well, one of the things that need to happen is that we must continue the trajectory of improving our electoral laws. Participation in election requires that the people you are inviting to participate trust the system. Once people have the feeling of, oh, my vote will not count, there's a problem with that, they won't participate, there will be apathy in that direction. We have to deal with the issue of the heavily monetized environment for electioneering. You know, a situation in which only a few people put down the money, they will control the process as well. Can we spread how we finance our election? It is possible for, in some of that class we borrow this from. People donate $10. They donate $5 to election process to ensure that there's a wider, it's a collective, unlike what we have right here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Bolahon Lojide. Time will not permit us to go, in depth on this particular issue, but it will always